Well, Governor Jan Brewer of Arizona is today lashing out over the fact that nearly a dozen foreign countries are now attacking Arizona's immigration law. Brewer is now asking a high court in the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals not to let these 10 Latin American countries go forward with their motions in this case. She calls the situation a local matter and says it's no business of any foreign government. Monica Crowley is a radio talk show host and a Fox News contributor and my guest now. So, Monica, now we've got Mexico, Argentina, Bolivia, Brazil, Chile, Costa Rica, Ecuador, El Salvador, Nicaragua, Paraguay, and Peru, which have been granted permission by the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals to weigh in on the constitutionality of Arizona's immigration law.
It's stunning. Megan, just when you think you've heard it all in the age of Obama, some other outrageousness hits you. This is beyond belief that now we have 11 countries, the ones you just named, piling on, in addition to our own federal government, piling on the state of Arizona. Frankly, I blame this administration, I blame President Obama and the Attorney General Eric Holder for opening the door to this kind of offensive absurdity. They are waging war against the American people. They're waging war against one of our 50 states. And what they have done now is crack the door open for 11 other countries to weigh in against the American people, against the state of Arizona. It is outrageous, and it's a violation of American sovereignty.
Jan Brewer is scratching her head saying, I don't understand. Why are we looking to Bolivia for its opinion on the constitutionality of an Arizona state law? How is it relevant or helpful to the Ninth Circuit what Costa Rica thinks about our law? How does that in any way help the Ninth Circuit decide? But, Monica, there is a split among judges on whether you should A, look to foreign law in deciding cases of constitutional matters, and perhaps B, look to foreign countries for their opinions on the constitutionality of our laws. And I guess the Ninth Circuit, which is a very liberal circuit, feels it's relevant.
2 points about this, Megan. First is, let's take a look at how all of these 11 countries treat their own illegal immigrants, from Mexico to Peru to Bolivia. Not very well. You cross the border illegally into any one of these states, you're going directly to prison. There's no due process in these countries, and now here they are piling on the state of Arizona. It's a violation of our sovereignty. The second point I want to make is that this seems to be a concerted effort on the part of Obama and Holder to do exactly what you just mentioned, Megan, which is open the door to international law, to have international law hold sway over the U.S. Constitution and over the U.S. Code, the U.S. Code of laws in this country.
But their argument is,
because we know that they are sympathetic to that already, Megan, and this is their opportunity to do it.
But they say they have a stake in this because they think the Arizona's immigration law is somehow going to affect citizens coming from south of the border into Arizona and then affect relations between the United States and these countries south of the border. So they want to weigh in to sort of bolster the DOJ's argument that this should be a matter for the feds to decide, and there are international relations at stake as a result of this Arizona law. That's what they're trying to, and the feds supported this motion. I mean, I specifically asked, what did the DOJ say when, you know, Bolivia wanted to weigh in? The DOJ supported it. They consented to having them weigh in because they think it helps their argument.
Right. Like I said, every day you wake up under this administration and there's some new craziness coming at you, some new outrage. The fact that our Department of Justice, that we support and pay for as American taxpayers, which, by the way, is the one entity at the federal government level that is supposed to be the champion of the American people in terms of justice, the fact that they are weighing in on the side of these foreign governments is absolutely offensive, and it is absurd.
But of course they want that to happen because these foreign governments are supporting the DOJ's position. We looked it up. In Mexico, you mentioned the problems that these governments have themselves. In Mexico, remember when Felipe Calderon came to the United States and sort of lectured us about our laws, including this one back in May of 2010? There have been more than 5,000 drug-related killings in Mexico just since then. We are talking at least 3 dozen people killed per day relating to the drug cartel violence alone. Why? Mexico's got bigger problems to worry about than the Arizona immigration law.
That's exactly right. Mexico cannot control their side of the border, Megan. Also, when did we lose sight of the word illegal in any of this conversation? These countries are weighing in against the state of Arizona on the side of the U.S. federal government.
But don't they have an interest in doing that? I mean, most of the drugs that come into this country come from south of the border. They have a financial interest in making sure that border stays open.
They do. And Arizona, New Mexico, California, Texas, those border states have an interest in saying, wait a minute, we need some backup from the U.S. federal government in terms of the military, in terms of border enforcement. The fact that we have lost sight of the word illegal in all of this. Those countries you name, it's in their interest
So
to
65%
to
of
get
the
their
cocaine
undesirables across the border into the United States. They're trying everything they can. And what is particularly offensive, Megan, is that, yes, it is illegal. These countries don't care. And you know what? Our own federal government under Obama and Holder, they don't care either.
65% of the cocaine smuggled into the United States crosses the southwest border. 65% of the cocaine alone. That's all we're talking about. All right, Monica Crowley, interesting.
Thank you.
They'll be weighing in. We'll be waiting for the Ninth Circuit's decision.